AI is fast becoming the new operational core of the financial world. It's like a powerful new brain driving everything from expense reports all the way to fraud detection. But like any brain, it can be vulnerable. So how do we protect it? That's the critical question we're going to dig into today.
Okay, so first things first, let's talk about what's at stake here. AI isn't just some fancy add-on. It's a genuine superpower for finance departments. It is absolutely revolutionizing how businesses manage money, make decisions, and, stay compliant.
And to put a number on it, check this out. Our source material shows that AI can slash the manual processing time for tasks like handling accounts payable by up to 80%. That is a massive leap in efficiency. It frees up real people to focus on much more strategic work.
And we're not just talking about one single thing here. It's a whole toolkit. You've got process automation that just zips through all those repetitive tasks. You have advanced analytics that can actually predict cash flow trends. And maybe most importantly, you have real-time fraud detection that can spot suspicious patterns in an instant. It really is a complete game changer.
Okay, so everything sounds great, right? But here's the pivot. For all of its power, this new financial brain has a weak spot, an Achilles heel. What happens when the very systems designed to be smarter than us are deliberately tricked?
And that right there, that brings us to the real heart of the problem. Securing AI isn't like locking down a traditional computer system. We're dealing with something fundamentally different, something often called the black box problem.
So what even is AI security? Well, it's way more than just firewalls. It's about tackling the unique vulnerabilities that exist inside the machine learning models and the data they're trained on. See, because of their black box nature, we can't always see exactly how they make a decision, which creates these blind spots where threats can hide.
So what are we actually up against? What do these threats look like? We're not talking about your typical brute force attacks. No, we're talking about sophisticated, subtle attacks that exploit the very logic of the AI itself. Attacks that, in a weird way, can actually think.
All right, threat number one. It's called data poisoning, and it is as nasty as it sounds. It's an incredibly dangerous attack because it's so subtle. It corrupts the AI from the inside out, right when it's in its learning phase.
Think about it like this. Imagine you're teaching a child, but you're deliberately feeding them wrong information. That's data poisoning. First, an attacker slips corrupted data into the training set. Then, the model starts to learn all the wrong patterns from this bad data. And the result? You get a compromised model that is built to make fundamentally flawed decisions. And the fallout from this? Oh, it is huge. A poisoned model might just completely fail to detect fraud. It could produce wildly inaccurate financial forecasts, or it could lead to biased and really unfair credit assessments. The entire integrity of the entire financial operation is suddenly at risk.
Okay, on to threat number two. This one's called adversarial examples. And the best way to think about it is like an optical illusion, but for a machine. It's an attack designed to fool the AI's perception.
So here's how it works. An attacker makes these tiny, almost imperceptible changes to a piece of data, say a transaction record. To you and me, it looks completely normal. We'd never notice. But to the AI, that subtle little change is enough to completely throw it off, causing it to make the wrong call, like, for instance, classifying a totally fraudulent transaction as legitimate. Okay, so those threats are pretty scary, right? They're smart, they're sneaky, but here's the good news, we can fight back. But it requires a whole new kind of fortress, a security strategy that's built specifically for the world of AI.
A really solid defense is built on a few key pillars, and it's not all about technology. It has to start with strong governance, basically setting the rules of the road. From there, you need proactive risk assessment, the actual technical controls to enforce those rules, and finally, a clear plan for monitoring and response for when something does go wrong.
So let's dive a little deeper into those technical controls, because that's where the rubber meets the road. We're talking about a mix of things, like super strict data governance to protect that precious training data, ensuring secure model development right from the start, and enforcing robust access control so only the right people can touch these critical systems.
And all of this really boils down to one absolutely critical takeaway. The most important lesson of all. Security cannot be bolted on at the end. It can't be an afterthought. It has to be foundational, built into the DNA of every single AI system from day one.
And don't just take my word for it. Listen to this quote from a CISO at a major bank. With the right tools, they caught a dangerous data poisoning attack in hours, not weeks. Think about that. That's the difference between a minor incident and a potential catastrophe. The investment paid for itself right then and there.
So this really lays it all out, doesn't it? It's a lesson from a finance director who learned it the hard way. If you treat security as an afterthought, you're looking at costly, time-consuming rebuilds down the line. But if you build with security by design from the very beginning, you save time, you save money, and you save yourself a massive headache. The key is to get it right the first time.
And that leaves us with this final question to think about. We're in a race. The power of AI in finance is undeniable, but so are the risks. As this technology becomes the actual brain of our financial systems, we have to ask ourselves, what's the bigger gamble here? Moving too fast and having to manage these new threats, or being left behind entirely?